All right. Let me do a little bit of audio calibration here just to make sure everything's good on the OBS side. They're still setting up the match, and I don't blame them when you have numbers like these. I mean, here, let me... Why is that not coming up? That's kind of weird. One second. Oh, because it was set to the wrong thing. That's kind of... Okay, there we go. Look at that. 200. I'm just as surprised as all of you with that one. I mean, that's going to be... It's rare to see PvP get this high, but my god, is it interesting. All right, at 196 right now, we've got another 8 or so slots. Some people still working things out. Just saw someone got kicked out for an Ace issue. Ace did update, I want to say, 2 days ago, so no surprise there. Just going to be configuring a few audio levels here. Want to make sure nothing's peaking on my side, because I'm just trying to make sure everything is well balanced. I've also been bringing the music up to be a bit higher, so we'll see how things go. I'm getting pokes too. Getting some pokes from a few people, wishing them luck as they message me. Here's one I just got, for example, from one of the players in the TeamSpeak there. Hell yeah. Alright, everything should be good to go. I'm gonna be honest, with this player count, I even had, 1 second. I'm just replying to a few different people here. I was going to stream some Supermarket Simulator earlier today, but, you know, I had 5 people tell me they wanted to come, and only one of them actually showed up. And then when I said, okay, well, I guess I'm canceling it, then 3 other people messaged and went, wait, I thought we were doing this. I'm like, what? Bruh, I already waited 15 minutes. Only one other dude showed up. Like, what are you talking about? But, okay, whatever. I'll just keep the Thursday 12:30 slot to Arma instead, and I guess I'll keep those games for the weekends, but I rarely get the time to do them on the weekends, so it's like, alright, I guess we'll just play it by ear at that point, because I want to do other games, don't get me wrong, but I don't have the time to do them. So, you know, schedules. Anyway, let's go ahead and look at the actual mission objectives. If you want to follow along, you can always type the exclamation point mission command, but for the people watching this video back, this is actually a very simple game mode. There's 2 common objectives, which is control a government building by the end of the game, which is a red cap zone. We'll see that in the map when we push through. That's worth 3 points. And then there's a purple cap zone to control at the end of the 70-minute mark, because OFCRA is a 90-minute match. And then there is someone named Dudiev, which if he's inside the residence by the 70-minute mark, which is also the purple cap zone, I forgot to mention that, Blue 4 will gain a point, and if he's inside the government building at the end of the game, he will gain an additional point, and if OFCRA keeps that player or person, could be an AI that's captive, could be a player itself, if they keep him outside of the residence by the 70-minute mark and outside of the government building by the end of the game, it's bonus points. But, I mean, that's 2 points, 1 each for that VIP to be in the objectives, and then control of the residence at the 70-minute mark is 2 points, and the government building's 3, so that's just a little bit of extra bonus points to tie things up, and to at least make things interesting. But it also gives OPFOR a little bit of a point advantage, because it's very easy to keep people outside of the AO rather than in, but at the same time, look at this. We've got 4 different groups of OPFOR here at 4 different positions. Wow. And then I assume Blue 4 is going to be spawning in this central area here. Is this... Okay. Okay. So this AO we saw before the end of the year, this was the AO that they were doing like some Adivka Ukraine war stuff in, if I recall correctly. This is a massive town. There's a lot of high rises, and what kind of annoyed me about that round was there was not a lot of action. It was just a lot of posturing. I'm hoping, though, if we have 200 players here, let me tab out and do a quick TeamSpeak head count. We are currently at 205. There you go. So a little above 200 for both sides. I guess minus me as the one spectator. We're at 204. So it's 102 versus 102, you know? So that is definitely a few different platoons worth of infantry. If, I mean, we got 3 different groups here, which means that's at least 25 infantry per group. Usually a platoon is around anywhere from like 20 to 50, depending on the country. But, I mean, 4 groups of 25, that's at least 2 squads and some vehicles to work with. But I do see we have a tank regiment here, the motor rifle regiment with the side leader, another motor rifle. So it's 2 mechanized platoons, a tank platoon, and then an air assault group, which is probably going to be light vehicles, smaller squads. So we're probably going to see the bulk of the infantry here and here with another group here, and then, you know, about 12 players there for, you know, 4 tanks or so. But we'll see what comes in. But that means the defenders have to have a massive amount of stuff in play. We are commentating for OFCRA every week at about 3:30, which we are at right now. I do OFCRA PvP match commentary. They are some of the biggest events I cover. Not the biggest, though I will say I think this is a record for the amount of players we've seen in an OFCRA mission. The previous one was like 180 or 190, so now we're just about at 200. So I'm glad to see OFCRA growing. We also cover FNF every Friday, and then there's always some special events like FNF Soon events or those really, really big PvP events or TBD events. It just, you know, if it lines up with my schedule, I'm able to cover it. But, yeah, we do a little bit of PvP commentary here and there. Now, if you're interested in me Zeusing, that is going to be tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for POG, continuing that Project 11 campaign. POG has themselves in a bit of a pickle right now in the campaign. They're going to be playing a bit of defense in the beginning before they can start counterattacking and evacuating resources out of the AL. But that is, for those of you that don't have PM Eastern Standard locked in, that's going to be about in a 4.5 hours from right now. So if you're interested in Zeusing, check back then. But I'm going to be honest, 200 players is a very rare treat in Arma 3. I would say I only cover events that get into the 200 mark, I'd say maybe 3 to 4 times a year. And those were usually WOG versus Solid Games, 2 massive Russian communities. And their numbers for their events usually get up to about 240. So this is not going to be far off. So I'm really glad to see OFCRA hitting these strides, and we'll just have to see how things go forward, you know? Yeah, sometimes I commentate as well. I try to do a little bit of Arma in every category, from commentating to playing on the ground to Zeusing, because it keeps me well-rounded. Because I'm going to be honest, I think I'm the only person in the world that plays this game professionally. And I don't mean that in like a serious sense. I mean that as I get paid to make this content for you guys to watch. You do need your gambling. Hold on one second. I am such a rude host. I completely forgot to allow you addicts to bet channel points on this one. Who else is going to make me do bro speak? All right, Blue 4 is defending, Op 4 is attacking. I'm going to set this to 20 minutes. That's probably a little too much time, but I want to give you guys every second to get some bets in for this one, because it's going to be a brutal one. It is going to be a brutal one for this one. So, for those of you that are new, at least we ain't Pack Mule. Yeah, well, Korvac isn't Pack Mule anymore because Stillwater Security wiped. But that'll be fun this Saturday, though. I finally have a PSO scope, so I'm just going to literally keep that in my inventory. And then the first AK I find that can take that scope is getting a little facelift there. And then I get to have fun. But my ammo is going to be very limited with that gun, so we'll just have to see how things go. Flash, buddy, how you doing? 2 things. Number 1, if you're free this Friday... from anywhere from 5, well, it's probably going to be more around 6 to 10 p.m., and you want to do some DayZ, we can go on my other server, my Namalsk server. That one is a little more brutal, and, well, I mean, it's going to be streamed during prime time, so it is going to be a bit more brutal, but if you want some more DayZ on one of my favorite, if not my favorite map in the world, let me know, buddy. I'll get you in on that. Second, how is those things about a join op going? Because you know me, I love big ops, and this is going to be a 200-player PvP match, so, you know, big numbers of players are getting me going for what we might want to do here. We're on a bye week this week? Oh, you're right, Sergeant. No, you're right, there is not going to be any Stillwater, because between the seasons, yeah, we did just finish a contract last weekend, so there's not going to be anything tonight. Or not tonight, Saturday night. That means one of two things. Either I'm going to do a random Saturday night stream, or Bloodwind's going to kidnap me for midnight Korean barbecue. There's no telling what could happen Saturday night, man. Why did I log off next to you in Namalsk? Why did you log off next to me in Namalsk? Shark, I'm going to go offline and move somewhere then. I don't want to get spawn killed. But Sergeant, you are exactly right. I always forget they've got that bye week. I'm just so excited to play in that community all the time. Because I'm going to be honest, if you were a player in a community, and this community literally was just a free-form, manage your own gear and, you know, take out what you want, but within the rules, and, you know, a tight-knit community where you can play poker games and literally sell people's souls for money, it's pretty fun. So yeah, I get excited to chill with them. And you know what the best part is about it? I get paid to be there. It's great. I love it. That's fair, Sergeant. We got paid out $252 for being there for all 3 days, so I spent $250 just for a PSO, because I kill for magnified optics in that community. Righto, Flash, righto. Let me know when you have a theme and how long you want it to be, how many mission files you need. I will get it back to you in a week. Here's the thing, real quick. We have a minute. I want to quickly speak about something. So my understudy, Valkyrie, she's the one that makes all the really crazy 40K stuff. She just came out of the hospital for some health issues because, in her words, the British medical or healthcare system sucks. But she is looking for work right now in terms of me to give her a bunch of stuff to work on. I did just make a new deal with Achilles from TOC. That is the, to my knowledge, largest Warhammer 40K unit. I've done a lot of work with them in the past. Some of you might recognize them as the Myrmidon Legion or the 700 Cadian. But I am about to give Valkyrie some more work for those missions, which will start up in March. But Flash, no need to expedite, but as soon as you need mission files, let me know, because I know Valkyrie loves working for me and making grandiose mission files to keep her mind off of things. I've got her stalled. We're working on some Halo stuff right now, which I admit I am dragging my feet on because she works quicker than me. But if anyone has any commission work, because I then send some of that money to Valkyrie so she can start saving money because she wants to move to the US, DM me and we can work on some commissions, because now I'm trying to get Valkyrie stateside so she can get some better medical care. Wah. But anyway, just giving a moment of silence there, cutting the music out, just you know, be a bit serious there. But let's get back to the action. But yeah, my plan tonight, this is literally the rest of my day tonight. I do this stream, and then I let Bloodwing at home. Or, not let her home, Jesus. She'll be home by the time I wrap this stream up. I owe her a steak dinner. Oh god, that's the sound of everyone getting moved to the T-Fart channel. Give it a second. There we go. I'm making her a steak dinner tonight, meat and potatoes. It's her favorite. And then we're going to be doing Pog.
Happy birthday, Liru.
Then I promised a few people I'd play some Darktide with them because I'm having that itch. And then after that, I'm going to be doing some editing and then doing some mission prep for Valk, as well as, you know, some other communities and whatnot. So we got all of that good to go. Have you ever done any Warhammer Fantasy Ops? Yes. Let me speak on that in a second, though. Let me address the game mode we're about to watch. But here's the deal. Boone, thanks for the 20-month resub. Buddy, you're a little early. My birthday's not till April. But thank you nonetheless. Why does that look phallic? Hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. But let's go ahead and actually start going over all of our units here. So we have a protection detail. And I'm assuming this man in the hat is our VIP. And yeah, Murphy's just the leader of the protection detail there. So we've got some hunting rifles and some AKs for these guys. So we got to keep our eyes on T, because T is this VIP that needs to stay in the zone. So he's got to stay at this zone by the 70-minute mark for Blue 4 to score a point. If he leaves that area, Op4 will gain a point if he's not there in that 70-minute zone. Then we have the 90-minute zone. If that one player T is in here by the end of the game, Blue 4 will score a bonus point. If he's not, Op4 will score a bonus point. Now, these two objectives are also the capture zone. So if Op4 captures this zone by the 70-minute mark, they will score 2 points. If Blue 4 holds it, they will score 2 points. Otherwise, then you got the government building or complex over here, which starts about right here and ends up in this area. So this entire block, whoever has more players in it by the end of the game will score 3 points. And again, with that bonus point, potentially 4 points for Blue 4 or Op 4. Otherwise, there are 3 other positions that Blue 4 has spawned in on. We've got a BMP group here. So we've got a BMP2. No Metis launcher, no missile launchers for the BMP-1s either, but 2 BMP-1s and a BMP-2. We've got AK-74s with some dual-taped mags, RPG-7s, RPG-26s. Very nice spread here. Looks like, I think that is an RPD, but I could be wrong. And I don't know what other warheads these guys have, but yep, that is an RPD. And then we've got 2 T-55s over here. Interesting. We also have a medical MTLB. This is probably with medical perms, so if anyone goes unconscious, they can load them in there and get medical perms to work on them. Looking at the second platoon over here, this appears to be a truck platoon. Weaponry appears to be very similar. RPG-7s, 26s. Got some PPSHs for the leaderships with those 71-round drum mags. Some SVD marksmen as well. That is quite nice. Looking at the third group over here, this appears to be the biggest one out of all of them. It is a mix of trucks and cars and a lot of infantry. Not seeing any weapon variation from these guys. It's literally all, oh, what's the name of that hat? Ushakas or something? And then it looks like one sniper for the entire platoon with a few AT gunners. All right, let's start looking at Op4 here. Op4, the motorized group over here appears to be just that, a motorized group. We've got full green camo, RPG-26s, AK-74s as well, RPKs for their machine guns with 60-round stick mags. RPG-7, slightly more advanced warhead there compared to the other one I saw. Oh, we also have some RSGH launchers. These are anti-infantry, anti-structural, firing a thermobaric round, what I like to call the big suck round. Sucks out all the oxygen, basically creates a massive AoE effect, and they've got quite a few of those guys in each group here, so that's going to be very devastating if Blue 4 takes in building garrisons and one of those warheads is fired in the same room as that group. That's going to cause a squad wipe. All right, second group up here. This is their mechanized group, so they've got their BMP-2 and then 2 BMP-1s, and we're seeing very similar gear. We've got some PKMs in play, so some medium machine guns. That is quite nice. And I'm not seeing anything else in terms of weapon variation, but each one of the squads that go on those vehicles, Blue 4 has RPDs, Op 4 have PKMs, so that is quite nice to see. We've got 3 T-70. Are those T-80s or T-72s? I can never tell the difference sometimes. They look like T-72s, though, based off of the profile here. So Op 4 getting better tanks and 1 more of them. They are T-80s. Damn, can never get it right. So T-80BV, Shark Noses tanks. But otherwise, we've got 3 of them here, and they also have their own medical vehicle as well. But again, similar weaponry here with those AK-74s, and these guys appear to be making their plan. Otherwise, we have another scouting group here. It has a BRDM that's unarmed, another BMP-2, and a BMP-1. And I'm not seeing any variation on the weaponry, but because they are those mechanized infantry groups, we do see that PKM in play as well. Oh, there is a second BMP-1. It's just having a little bit of gravity issues here, for lack of a better term. I think Op 4, they're trying to play with some phased mattered assembly units or something. You know, they're kind of phasing through the ground here. You got to remember, though, if you're playing with, you know, like phase cloaking or something crazy where you can, like, go through walls, whatever sci-fi bullshit you want to call it, What happens if you step on the ground and you phase through the ground when you're trying to phase through a wall instead, or, you know, you phase through the floor? Like, this is a big concern you have to have, because this could happen to you. You just get stuck in the ground. So don't play with that stuff, you know? You never know what might happen. Anyway, that appears to be it across all the groups. So Blue 4, very outgunned, but they do have that defensive advantage. We see a lot of these buildings in here, but, you know, 2 T-55s, 2 BMP-1s, a BMP-2, and then they just have all those motorized infantry. I'm just doing another quick check over to see if there's anything else in the AO. But I think that's it in terms of vehicles. So OP4 definitely have a lot more firepower, but we'll have to see what advantages Blue 4 can set up. We do see the protective detail setting up on the outskirts of the actual AO. They'll probably run them in there last minute. They don't want to risk, you know, Blue 4 coming in and just, OP4 coming in and just steamrolling this objective. So, I don't know, 200 players, this could go either way. Let me tab out one more time, give you a final number count. We're actually at 207 now, -1 for my spectator slot, so that's 206. That is 103 versus 103, not including a number advantage. They probably gave OP4 a few additional players, maybe I want to say up to a 10% numbers advantage, so we're probably looking at something more along the lines of 90 versus 110, roughly. So that 20 number difference, I mean, OP4 need more vehicle crews, clearly. They've got 1 more tank. They've got 3 more BMPs, 2 BMP-1s and a BMP-2. They pretty much have nearly double. And then it's T-80s versus T-55s. I mean, I feel like this is going to be a pretty nasty fight, but we'll see what Blue 4 can do, all things considered. I don't know. This could go either way. Iowa Reaper, thanks for a 19-month resub. Hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. You know, I don't think either side has AKS-74Us. I only see the AKSs if we want to be technical here, because that S stands for that skeletal stock. So, I don't know. Could go either way. Oh, right. So, looking at side leaders, it's Fonz and Goose commanding for Blue 4 against OP4, which is Depso. Here's the thing. Usually, they put BIA on both sides. So, it's not an OFCRA versus BIA thing officially. What they instead do is they offer most of BIA to go on one side, but it looks like they've actually split them in the even here based off of what I'm seeing on Blue 4 and OP4. And I think they mainly do that for numbers' sake, because they just want to take everybody and then just put them in the F&F method of just, you know, putting people in so they can keep numbers. So yes, the title might be a little bit clickbaity, but I'm going to be honest, 200 players speaks for itself. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, as someone that normally looks in these AOs and tells you how things are going to go down, I genuinely have no idea. When you have a platoon versus a platoon, the AO is set and you can see, you know, on the map where forces are going to come in, and you have clear lines of communication, it's easy to predict what the offensive team might do, where the defensive team might hold. But this is platoons at a company command level. OP4's got 4 different attack waves that are be going into this town. Like, there's no telling what could really happen here. It's going to be a mess. And then, God forbid, someone in one of the platoons actually maintains radio communication with the company commander. You know? I don't think OP4 is going to try to unify all their forces either and attack on one front. I think they're just going to hit it from all sides and see what happens.
Blood for the blood goddess.
With this many players, it's all about probing attacks to see where your opponent is weakest, to then make a bridgehead and then expand on that bridgehead. In theory, you would then pull the other forces off of their positions to then reinforce that bridgehead and overpower any defenders, but I'm going to be honest, I want to say half a dozen times we've seen the player count get this high, it's just all around chaos. There's an initial plan. And as you might know, no plan survives first contact, and then it's just a free-for-all until one side emerges from the ashes. And the crazy thing about that is one of these OPFOR platoons could get carpet bombed right now, and that would not hurt OPFOR's chances of winning, because I've seen crazier things happen in OFCRA. Here's what I do want to see, though. I want to see someone channel their inner Audrey Hotto. I want to see, in this environment, someone beat 24 kills. If they even get to 21, I would be a happy man. I don't care if it's with the BMP2 autocannon and they just slaughter 20 people in a vehicle. I want to see someone wipe out, on their own, 20% of the attacking force. This would be an AO to see someone break that PvP record. And I want to see it. Justin, thanks for the 41-month resub. Bloodwing will be home soon, and I gotta cook her a steak dinner. Nonetheless, hope you all keep enjoying the operations, though we get a nice kick out of this scenario. Now, in Blue 4's hands, I think their best bets are going to be... It's a catch-22, though. Yes, you want to take the high-rises so you have overwatch over all these open fields, but at the same time, OPFOR have 3 tanks, 2 BMP2s, and 4 BMP1s, and a lot of open field to watch all of these buildings. So guess what's going to happen if they get a firing line on a squad of infantry on one of these floors? It's gonna be brutal, and I'm here to see it. Yeah, just level the city, right? OPFOR doesn't have the ordnance, though, but look at this. Blue 4 in a defensive situation like this, there's no specific MSRs to cover. There's no specific routes of forested tapestry to come in to cover. Why did I say tapestry? I'm an idiot. Okay, Blue 4 just have to literally put an entire circular defense around and just hope for the best. Maybe Blue 4, after realizing where some OPFOR forces push in from, will then pull forces away and create stronger defensive lines. But again, when we're talking this many players on a server, I can't stress this enough. It's almost like a bell curve, where if you have too few people, you are forced to do like one route in, you're fighting against another squad. It's like FNF's numbers right now. Too few players, and there's not really a lot of tactics. You're just going in there on one route, and then if they, are set up there, you're kind of screwed, and you lose. And then you have that bell curve going up to, I want to say platoon versus platoon, maybe around, 80 players to 120 players. That's when you can really get into some tactics. That's when you have multiple choices. You could potentially catch your enemy off guard. They could catch you off guard. But once you start getting to 150, 160, 170, 180, communication becomes tougher. Your opponent has more infantry to reinforce certain defensive lines, and especially when you get to 200, you just have to assume, no matter what route you might take, you're going to run into resistance. So it's literally just going to be a slog of bring in as many forces as you can and hope for the best. It's that other side of the bell curve. At this point, tactics might not matter as much. It's literally just a slogfest of, can you kill them quicker than they can kill you? And it's gonna be brutal. Gregory, thanks for the 44-month resub, buddy. I hope you keep enjoying the operations. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. You just gotta remember, though, at the end of the day, the one job Blue 4 needs to do is hold this position. And what does scare me a little bit off the get-go is there's no internal defenders on the position itself. Even just like 4 dudes with RPGs to stop any vehicle rushes from coming in would be sufficient. Instead, you've got just a few guys overwatching around this AO. He's reloading. I think they're scoping in his marksman rifle. But that's what concerns me a little bit, because if OPFOR breaks through somewhere and rushes a vehicle and is able to hold with a squad here at that critical 70-minute mark, that could be it. That could be GG right there. So now it's just going to be a matter of, can OPFOR bypass and put themselves in that position? And that's going to be the trick. Final point count, Blue 4, 50.4 thousand points, OPFOR 59.5. So yeah, evenly split. I'm going to be honest, I'm not surprised with that one bit, because there's just so much that can happen. Now, I do gotta appreciate one thing here. We do have some hunter-killer teams. I'd assume these guys have AT. And I think their one job is to literally rush out and try to kill a vehicle and then immediately book it. Or maybe risk it, stay in the AO, go for a second vehicle kill, and then sacrifice themselves. I'm going to be honest, if I only had an hour to play this, I would volunteer for this position just so I could run up and snipe a vehicle, get a positive KD, and then, you know, peace out and continue on with my day. Because stuff like that can... it can turn the tide, but at the same time, it's not going to be one group that can do that. It's got to be multiple. Because, let's say it's 110 versus 90 right now. You kill a vehicle, it kills 8 people. It's still 102 versus 90. There is still a definitive number advantage. Does it help? Yes. But it doesn't change anything. I think I said that earlier where, you know, Op 4 in this case, the attackers could lose an entire group and still be able to fight through. This is all one life, no respawns. So the war of attrition is really going to be interesting for this one. We already see vehicles all forming up right here. 2 tanks with the medical vehicle, 1 tank scouting up ahead. And then we've got 2 BMPs on the rear, the BRDM scouting up ahead, and then a BMP-1 trailing it. We do have some hunter-killer teams already out here. They're just trying to look for any vehicles to potentially hit with AT. Looks like it's 1 AT. Maybe the assistant has extra rockets. But we're going to see some small skirmishes and ambush tactics early on. God, and then we have another set of BMPs over here. So there's the first set. There's the tanks. There's the second set. I mean, we almost have a company level of vehicles here because this is 1 platoon. That's another platoon. That's a 3rd platoon. Blue 4, meanwhile, looking at their AO here. They've just basically evenly divided, and this is their perimeter. They're trying to hold the edge of the town from multiple positions. Their southern defensive line is a little lacking, and they've done that so they can have more firm positions everywhere else. What worries me about that is towards the south is where the first objective is. But I think they're trying to lighten that with a hunter-killer team to the south, but we can see this one truck on its own is moving over to change that. And this is an ATGM team as well, according to the map roster. Hold on. What happened here? I think Op 4 armored one of their vehicles, so we do have some casualties here, but they're probably going to get respawned. Yep, there it is. And then teleported back and given a new truck. Yeah, we're probably not going to see contact for at least another few minutes. Maybe one of the pickets will get something. If not, we'll see one of these trucks drive in. Right off the bat, though, I'm also a little bit worried because we're seeing some Op 4 quickly starting to trickle into the AO. They might just be being sent ahead as pickets, but at the same time, that is a perfect target for one of these little pick-off teams, the hunter-killers, to get, because there would be no retribution if they kill the one vehicle and kill everyone in the blast. The best trade is one that you don't have to pay for. So it looks like they're forming up right here, probably to make a vehicle column. And we see the rest of the vehicles forming suit. So yeah, these guys I think are still going to get respawned by admin. We always have, for events like these, NASA and Manco have to be on. There's Manco right there. NASA's on the other side. So yeah, 1 admin per side, so if anything, you know, messed up happens, they can quickly fix it. You know what I am curious about, though? There's no air assets. That was probably made for, you know, balancing reasons, but I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I think an MI-24 with a chin strap, and then give Blue 4, like, a handful of, anti-material machine guns, you know, HMGs. I think that would have been a very interesting trade because that would have given Op 4 a little bit of an edge on the assault. But then again, Op 4, they have over 2-to-1 advantage over the vehicles, so I can see where they want to keep things grounded. But, you know, in the past when we've seen OFCRA and BIA events together, they've always had at least some air, so... Speaking of, the last OFCRA versus... BIA event, I think was that World War II one, the Germans versus the Russians. And that was probably the most one-sided fight I've ever seen in recent memory. To give you guys a refresher, both sides had air support. Both sides had a platoon of tanks. And Blue 4 managed to eliminate all of Op 4's air support. The Germans destroyed all of the Soviet Union's air support, all of their tanks, and by the end of the game had like a 30-player advantage. It was just a slaughter. Anyway, Brig, thank you for the raid with 16 people. I assume you were playing Arma, since you're always seeming to be doing that, and I can never catch you. That's okay. Welcome, buddy. All right, we're seeing Op 4 doing a late dismount over here. This is going to give Op 4 the chance to regroup some of their forces. I think some of them are still dealing with this little issue back here. We have another truck parked over here as well. And that's interesting because I'm not getting any symbolism from that spot. But either way, we do have a recon BTR coming up here. It's got 5 guys. And we do have Goose on his own over here with just an RPG-26. I think he's just doing Southern Recon to see if Op 4 get in this village of Govorovka. And then potentially try to advance through this one street into the town. And this is definitely a blind spot Blue 4 has. But I'd imagine they'd be quick to move forces back. And then we have a forward position at this factory complex over here. And these guys seem to be all gravitating towards the rooftop. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see an advantage in having an entire squad in a position like this. Maybe 2 or 3 guys like the hunter-killer teams with an RPG and an LR, but an entire squad up here, if they see a BMP coming down the street, even if it goes down the street, this is a pretty long RPG range. A group like this is only here to prevent Op 4 from potentially coming in and dismounting in this position, which granted, this is a nice far dismount position, but the only way this could play properly is if Blue 4 kind of sits in here, sits one guy out to watch, and then they watch an Op 4 group come in and they've got perfect ambush positions. But in terms of long-range engagement, if these guys had like an ATGM launcher or something, I'd get it. But nah, this has to be an ambush position. Okay, we also see Blue 4 with a few RSGH launchers. That would be something good to fire at a dismounting group of infantry. You would get a lot of kills for that. All right, meanwhile, the BTR group has dismounted over here. We have some dug-in positions, even a cratered building right here. I always love fighting positions like these. And they're trying to do reconnaissance at the southern edge of the town from right here. We've got the BMPs coming in, so Op 4 is going to be pushing from the southern side. This is the group that's probably going to go for the residents, and Blue 4 just does not have a lot of numbers here. They're everywhere else. We got Blue 4 still far out with some of those hunter-killer teams. Maybe one of these two will catch that armor column coming in. I mean, just look at this. What an enticing target for those hunter-killer teams. And you got Depso, the commander here, saluting them all as they go past. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so Op 4 is going to be doing a southern attack. We've also got forces with armor. I'm assuming their other attack is going to come from this direction. So here's what they're doing. They're essentially trying to minimize the amount of urban territory they have to go through to get from those objectives. From the south, they just have to go through Gorovka, up this one street, and that puts them within literally a block of the residence building. The northern attack, they probably are going to try to move up this forested area, which is why there's a Blue 4 defensive group right there, and then through all these areas to get right to the government building. And then they could also try the northern side, get to this street, go through this little forested patch, and then get to the government building from there. So they're really trying to minimize the amount of urban CQC they have to do to get to those zones. Just wondering if we're going to see any of the hunter-killer teams potentially. I don't think they're going to be in earshot of this column, though. They're multiple kilometers away. Which, by the way, I think I'm betraying, like, the sheer amount of distance we have some of these units at. If I were to go right here and then check the range, these guys are almost 3 kilometers away from that column. And with the wind this heavy, I don't think they're going to hear it. Here's what I think part of OFCRA's plan is, though. If they do a southern attack first, they could pull quite a few forces to the south, and then they're going to have this much larger group with the armor start to harass everything on the northern side. And then they're just going to hope for one of these groups to break through. That's what I think OFCRA's plan is. Blue 4, meanwhile, they don't know where OFCRA is coming in from. They don't have any good way to do reliable reconnaissance. It would just be happenstance if one of their hunter groups caught any of the convoys coming in. But at the very least, they could radio for the hunter convoys to then turn into little flanking groups, especially on enemy armor. No contact yet. All you missed was a bit of an Arma incident, but we only caught the tail end of it, and I think they've all been revived by now. I'm not seeing any skulls. God, that is so satisfying. I'm scrolling as quick as I can, just seeing that roster. 207 people on an Arma server. And I'm going to be honest, this is the most stable I've ever seen a server. And I think that is tied to the fact that everyone is starting to run that new profiling build with that new level of hyper-threading. Gonna be honest, though, do not put that on your server yet. It's still very buggy. It will cause random instances of desync. But for clients, it's a great choice right now. So everyone's gonna be having some pretty good frames. I mean, let's have a look right now. There are 200 people on this server, and I am getting a triple-digit frame count. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. What GPU do I have? The GPU doesn't matter. I'm telling you guys. So I've got, there's a few things I have. One, I'm on the profiling build. Two, I think I have an i9 129 or 139K. But I have its primary core overclocked a bit. And then I have a custom command line that tells Arma to induce more hyper-threading. Now, you're right. Archangel, your answer is more interesting. So, Bloodwing used her Greek embassy contacts to get me a meeting with NASA. And with my little heist group, you know, Dante and friends, I was able to get into NASA's headquarters and borrow one of their supercomputers. Nah, you're right. You're right. Nah, I just finessed that, you know, giant-ass room-sized computer, and now it's just in my basement. Don't ask how I can still walk around down here. It's just, here it is. Yeah, totally. But, you know, it speaks for itself. All right, meanwhile, Blue 4's little scout here, he can hear those vehicles. I do hear him in the distance. He's still looking around, so we're going to have confirmed contact down here in a second. Blue 4, meanwhile, this hunter-killer team can't hear these vehicles coming down just yet. It's just driving by them. Infantry have remounted. I'm a little worried seeing that this group of vehicles is far away from this infantry group. Maybe they're planning an L-shaped attack. Or maybe these guys will come in and do a flanking action to help with a breakthrough on the southern side. Because they do have infantry squads in all of these BMPs as well. Yeah, FSB is the wrong country. FBI, I mean, if it's involving the Greek embassy, then you're probably going to have to get the CIA, because at that point it's more of an international thing, despite it being domestic. But, you know, I'm sure it'll be fine. Maybe. All right, now, okay, so we have confirmed contact down here. They hear that BMP coming, so Goose is going to be looking and transmitting that over the LR. I'm going to be honest, yeah, one of the big sources of lag in Arma 3 is actually AI pathfinding. So if you take the AI away, that's how you can have 200 players on a server. Not gonna lie though, with all of these advances in hyper-threading for Arma 3, I wouldn't be surprised if we started seeing more like 200 plus players for, whatchamacallit, Arma King of the Hill. Look, if someone wanted to design a custom map of a nice little suburban area, and then one of the building's basements had a supercomputer, I would be more than happy to host a PvP event in it. And the winning team not only gets the supercomputer, but they get a few nice little Arma 3 goodies too. Excuse me. Shark, I'm sorry to say, but there is no other one. I just kind of borrowed it. Permanently. Alright, so Goose does have an RPG-26. Getting an angle to do that might be a bit tough. We do have this BMP-1 pushing up. Still has its entire infantry group inside, but they might do a dismount right here. Alright, these guys, they've got the RPG out. And they're heading in the direction of the convoy. I don't think they heard it, though. And if they did, then they have their Turtle Beaches on, because I don't think they're going to run up and catch this convoy of vehicles coming up. It's got to drive through this little ditch here. They got one or two vehicles doing some reconnaissance at the moment. I don't know what the holdup is, though. Looks like they might have radioed the other hunter-killer team to potentially come on the rear of this convoy, so I think they heard it. And then you still got Depso back here. Is he still saluting? No, he's just chilling in a house. Me too, buddy. Me too. Big, that's a DayZ command. I didn't even realize those were still on. They've been on all week. Goddamn. Well, that's... Unfortunately... That same group of people that finessed that NASA computer also managed to finesse 1,000 channel points for you, Big Club. I'm so sorry to see it. Damn. 1,000 channel points gone in a flash because he used the DayZ command in Arma 3. What a shame. Damn. Anyway. Ah, heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. I don't think Goose is going to do anything unless they literally park under him. That would give him a perfect shot. But even then, I don't think he's radioed in to say how much is down here. But Blue 4, we might see them start mobilizing a few things to make more of a solid defensive line down here. Nope, Archangel, I'm sorry to say, those 1,000 channel points are gone. Gone with the wind. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I don't even have them. Twitch has them. But, Big, I'm sure you could file a complaint. Yeah, that'll get you somewhere with Twitch. Yep. Oh, yeah. Just complain. You know, you should go to the head of Twitch, wherever their headquarters is in, and you should demand to have a chat with the CEO. I've heard people say stuff like that. I'm sure it'll get them somewhere. I'm sure it'll get you somewhere. Go for it, buddy. I believe in you. I'm curious where this hunter-kill team's going. I think it would be easier for them if they went and grabbed their vehicle. I'm not sure if they parked their vehicle somewhere back here to keep it secure. But if they're just walking this, then that's going to be one hell of a walk. So I'm assuming they're walking back to their vehicle. You want to speak to my manager? My manager is currently not in. She will be in like an hour or so. But at that point, it'll be past 5 o'clock. She'll be off the clock, so you're going to have to try to talk to her in business hours tomorrow. Good luck, though. Good luck. I'm going to be honest, this is kind of playing out as the previous round we saw a few weeks ago, if not like, what, December? where there was a lot of setup for this map because it's literally just a giant town with a bunch of open fields on the outside. And even though Blue 4 has triple digits, they still can't do an entire defensive group around it. There's still a bit of a blind spot. But we're just going to get a lot of setup time. We're actually almost past the first 30 minutes. It's very rare for the first 30 minutes to not have a single shot fired in an OFCRA match. But this is the map to do that. And a posture check. Great. And my throat cannot keep clear. Lovely. Oh, no, I'm the house husband, though. Bloodwing is definitely my manager. I don't know if I could be my own HR. That might also be Bloodwing. Hey, it's okay. The Walking Hunter-Killer team is slowly getting closer. Except now they have open fields to cross. And guess what has an advantage in an open field? I'll give you a hint. It's not the Hunter-Killer team. It definitely is not. So, other cars still coming. I mean, technically that car can carry 7 people, but it looks like Sambi is running back here. He's probably going to get the vehicle then. Suddenly sheds. Jesus, that came out of nowhere. Yeah, so OFCRA is completely occupying that area. We got a Hunter-Killer team on the rear, but that might not be as useful now that all the infantry is dismounting. We have another infantry group that's dismounting at the edge of this ridge. And they're just trying to do reconnaissance at the edge of the town. The question is, do they see anything? And based off of where they're looking, I mean, Blue 4, they're in the low ground over here. They're in the low ground over there. Okay, that's not the low ground. They're on a random rooftop, but there's a lot of open territory for Blue 4 to potentially charge in and get right into this compound. Ooh, look at that. OFCRA has a rear-facing Metis in case Blue 4 starts coming up on them. The only vehicle that would potentially come up is that Hunter-Killer team, but they could eat a Metis. Very smart call, though, for OFCRA to cover their rear in case Blue 4 tries to send vehicles around to counterattack. That, yeah, no, that's a great call. Interesting. So OFCRA is going to attack from over here with their armored group. I thought they were going to reinforce this push and create an L-shaped attack, but instead they're going to attack from this angle. Gonna be honest, I don't think that's the best call. I think if you're gonna make 3 separate attacks, you shouldn't take all of your armor and consolidate it in one position. But who am I to question Depso? I'm a little worried about Depso, though. He still has a bit of a drive, and there is a Hunter-Killer team or two in between him and that armored platoon. Let me take a look at these guys. Infantry squad, infantry team. So he's got 2.5 groups there, but let me check these other ones. If those are the tanks. Yeah, so he's got 2.5 squads to work with right here with the entire thing of armor. Again, I think the armor would have been better spread out. If he's going to be doing 3 different attacks, that would make this one the weakest. With all these infantry and no support, they're probably going to end up in a kill zone. This group, I think, is the most balanced because they have one of the platoons of vehicles with them. They also have a rear-facing Metis. But all of the armor hoarded in one place with only like 25 infantry to work with them, I don't think that's going to give the best result. So I think OFCRA are kind of setting themselves up for failure here with that unit divide. Again, if they were unified with 2 forces attacking with this group, you know, it's smaller, but they're limited. Hold on. I don't think he's going to take the shot. Oh, he might, because they paused. Take the shot, take the shot. I get what might be going through his mindset. Medices only have 4 rounds. And I don't think he wants to waste one of the rounds on a UAZ. At the same time, though, what are the odds of a single Metis in this size of an AO using all of its rounds when the opponent only has 2 tanks and 3 BMPs? Especially if it's being used for rear security. I don't think using 1 round to get a snipe on these guys would have been a waste. Now, granted, I am biased and I want to see action. But I'm pretty sure now they're going to see the movement up there. They're pointing them out and they might realize that they've been spotted. That might give them cold feet and they might retreat to their vehicle. Here's what I want to see. I want to see that Metis hit the vehicle as they're trying to fall back. Or let them get in the vehicle and then fire it, but I don't think he's on the Metis anymore. Wait, Martin is. Yeah, they're thinking there's more coming, and that's a scouting group. They're really suspecting OFCRA on the defense to actually come in and do some flanking attacks on their insurgent. And you know what? I don't blame them. In other large-scale events like these that we've seen, usually the defender does have like a platoon worth of forces to immediately commit to counterattacks, which is why OPFOR is playing so defensively on their advances at the moment. And this is the one time where they don't, because Blue 4 have so many defensive positions to work with here that they can just establish a giant defensive line and be fine. There's an Uncon guy up here. I think he got armored in the stairs. I don't 100% agree with the tanks leading like this. This is just opening them up to get engaged by RPG gunners in the buildings. And if they continue to do that up to Blue 4's first blocking position, they're going to have a bad time. So again, a judgment call like this, I can see why they didn't waste the Metis round on it, but at the same time, statistically, it's very unlikely if it, I'm going to say it's a guarantee. They're not going to use that Metis on more than 1 or 2 enemy armored vehicles, because that's all they're going to see the entire time. But again, I think the logic is they think a platoon of those vehicles is going to attack them on the other side, and they'd rather use the ammo on that. Alright, this is going to be our first point of actual contact here, where we're probably going to see shots fly, because these guys don't seem interested in firing at these 2 guys. I'm kind of surprised we're not seeing a BMP-2 route back, but at the same time, the BMP-2 is on the low ground. It's facing that direction. I mean, these guys could just watch these dudes, and then BMP could come right there and potentially find a flank on this little hilltop and snipe them. Now the BMP is going to go around to where their forces are to stay defensive, which I get. I mean, this is all open. You don't know what else might be out here, but... And we have the advantage of seeing everything on the ground tactically. There is a bit of fear here. Because you got to think, there is over 100 players on the opposing side. They could be anywhere. Here's the really scary part, though. If that BMP doesn't pick a good angle, it's going to end up right next to a guy that could actually kill it. That's the really funny thing. And the BMP has decided to wedge itself between 2 buildings. Don't drive forward again, please. You can't fit. Here, drive further around. Get right next to that one Blue 4 guy you don't know about. Good enough. You know what? I'm going to laugh my ass off if these guys come up, get a shot off of that BMP, and these guys don't do anything. But it looks like they're actually going to be aggressive here. They're sending 4 men up to try and get in the low ground over here to flank the infantry. Meanwhile... No way. What? Oh, there it is. Yep. Sam and Jamera. No, that's Seg. My bad. Okay. I wasn't looking either. It looks like a T-55 came up and somehow made 2 T-80s its bitch. So we have 1 destroyed T-80 over here, another destroyed T-80 over here. The crews are dead. And what was I saying earlier about having the tanks be on point? I thought it was going to be an RPG, but no, it was 1 defensive tank. So now Blue 4 have 2 tanks compared to Op 4's 1. You've got some open infantry running out over here. And 1 defensive boy here covering everything. I love it. Smoke's being thrown overhead as well. Got some shots from this building as well. They're trying to keyhole on the sides as this RPD's firing out. And there's no vehicle support to come up and push Blue 4 out of these positions because they've been intercepted. And that's the weakness of having 3 separate attacks. Now we see a vehicle at an angle to stop this guy from poking out that side. But here's another thing. This attack is going off. Blue 4 is able to send some of its armor to go and assist. This attack hasn't even started yet, and these guys are still posturing. No way. Are you telling me... Okay, Tom's died in the vehicle, but they were actually able to hit the art. I'm really worried about Op 4 right now. I can't. Remember when I said as a joke it would be really funny if that 2-man team actually got the hit on the BMP and just drove away? Like, I wasn't trying to bring that into the universe. I was saying that as a joke. I was being facetious. And you're telling me... Okay. All right, southern point of contact's pretty much over with. We have a BMP-1 for Blue 4 now coming around on the flank. Might be able to put some heavy rounds in the BMP-2 here and disable it. Bit of a risky move, but it can be done. And we just had the 3rd and final tank fire out, and it did get a hit on this rooftop over here. These appear to be some of the scouts for that tank group. Lolo got knocked out by a heavy round, so he'll get some medical. But I assume they've been calling shots for their local tank here to engage. But now we got the hunter-killer teams coming in from the rear. They could find this BMP and snipe it. And apparently the hunter-killer teams are slippery little bastards. This Blue 4 team, meanwhile, is pulling back. So Blue 4 as a defense group, they're pretty much just trying to play attrition here. BMP just fired at this medical vehicle. Another hit just went in, but that was just short. They're now pulling back, and that's making these guys panic and pull into the low ground. Tank's now slowly turning the turret around, but they're in the low ground, so Blue 4's tank can't answer that. BMP now driving aggressively in. We have another truck that's rushed up right here. It's literally Twig King on his own. No, okay, his entire squad's in here, so it's not giving me the plus. They're just driving in, and there's literally trenches right here, and they're still driving. So Blue 4 made a defensive group here and then pulled away. There's now no one to stop this group from coming in, but the rest of the infantry is back here. Why? I'll tell you why. There's massive miscoordination from Op 4 already. So Twig's group, I think, got bored, and they're going to go in, but there's no resistance. Now, if they pushed in with the rest of this group and was able to attack the rear of this Blue 4 defensive group, that would be amazing. That could potentially turn the tide, but nah, that's not going to happen, Chief. There's not enough coordination because there's too many groups of people to coordinate with. And that sucks because this group could literally tell them, hey, mount up, drive in. We're good. Just drive in. I still can't believe these guys, even though one of them died. A BMP kill for one dude's life, especially a BMP2, is a very good trade. And they... Ay. All right, we got some rear hits here. RPG groups firing. Missed the BMP. But they exposed the engine and just took a hit, and I think the engine's down. Another one comes in on the engine again. That BMP's cooked. Another BMP-1 down by OFCRA. So OFCRA down 2 tanks, 1 BMP-1 and 1 BMP-2. They've got 3 BMP-1s remaining and 1 BMP-2 remaining. And a tank. Blue 4 still have all of their vehicles. These guys have any AT? They do have an RPG-7. Can they get 8 or up to potentially engage it? Looks like that BMP found some infantry and got some pickoffs here, but now they're trying to pull away. Into a compound right next to an OPFOR group. We might see our first Blue 4 vehicle death here. Not if they put right in... Okay, well, they're turning. And now they're being friendly fired. I was going to laugh if they went in front of the BMP and the BMP just saw them and went, oh, okay, and then gunned them down. But no, they'll get gunned down by their own BMP instead. Over here. And I think the BMP-2 realized that and then immediately ceased fire. It was a panic shot, if you will. So we've got one group entirely wiped. So that was one of the armored teams. And now we've got the BMP-2 for Blue 4 pushing in. We have a knockout on Daedalus, some other shots in here as OPFOR were trying to push in. BMP-1 pushing around, no help there. Despite that, only one knockout because I don't think the BMP has HE rounds for that autocannon. Meanwhile, it looks like OPFOR are starting to remount all of their vehicles here. Maybe they'll follow a twig, but I mean, if they get a squad in that final zone, OPFOR could still win this because that is worth 3 points. They just need another force to get into the residence area. And there's a big chunk of Blue 4 away from that area, so if these groups were to regroup, leave a group here, push down, they could still play the objectives quite well. We're at the 53-minute mark. There was 10 minutes of safe start, so this will be over at the hour 40 mark. So we have less than an hour remaining. Tank is now aggressively pushing up, and Sam is waiting for his third tank kill here. They're firing machine gun at the tank. T-80 does have a bit of an armor advantage here. T-55 might have its gun disabled. Takes another round, fires. And the T-80 is advancing a little bit. Commander gun also engaging. How is this T-80, how is the 55 still alive? I think the gun just got disabled. That was a miss. Great side shot. They're trying to throw some smokes for it. That is the tankiest T-55 I've ever seen. T-80 trying to advance. Looks like the BMP-2 took a hit. Gunner's still active. They hear the T-80 close by. I don't know what hit him, but I guess an RPG shot from this infantry group. Some infantry crawled back up. They're taking damage. 2 knockouts to 1. Stratus also knocked out. Is that the marksman up there or some just some guy with an iron-sighted AK? BMP's now suppressing. Is the tank gonna push up and spot that BMP? More infantry now coming up to where Twig King dismounted. It was slow, but at least they're getting in now. OPFOR still have a chance. I guess one of the Stalinium T-55s was left in this town, and that's why Blue 4 has such a powerful vehicle. Autocannon doing its best to try to tear this vehicle up. The gun got stuck, though. It's not able to turn. Those plates are going to hold against that autocannon. Tank round goes in again. Crew dismounts. Oh, and the crew is dead. Oh, my God. That causes the body to go flying, and we got that BMP-2 fully down now. However, BMP-1 is attempting some long-range flanking shots from its 73mm cannon. They did get one hit on her. Minimal damage. Another round going in. Oh, those might be HE rounds. That's why. Wrong type of round to use. Most of the Blue 4 guys up here are back up trying to crawl over. Op 4, though, don't seem focused on them. They're focused on doing their own thing. Blue 4 doesn't check their rear, though, realizing that they're enveloped with hostile forces moving right by them. Shots going out. They're immediately pinned again. Blue 4 not covering their rear. Frag goes in. Shots to make them run around, and the grenade finishes them off. You know what I would have done in this situation? I would have thrown the grenade in, run up, control space the door, and then just held the door and laughed at him. And then let the grenade blow them all up. But that... Damn, that was funny. And he's got these Blue 4 guys here. I wonder if Op 4 is going to look out and see him. Oh, that was brutal. Southern group now starting to advance, but Blue 4 sent forces down to hold that little picket line. They've also sent a T-55 on the side here. They got the BMP-1 nearby. How's that other tank? I think they've repaired the gun. It's now fireable, but it's still going to be damaged. Yep, these guys got noticed and picked off from the garrison that was originally giving them overwatch. This guy, I think the bush is slightly covering him. Yeah, you aren't going to be able to really see him through there, but Newton might get him. He's up 3 kills. He's looking around. Hopefully he won't get friendly fired from his own position in that other tall building. No, he sees him. Newton pumps him full of lead for kill number 4. Looking at the Southern group, they're going to start trying to make an advance here as this Blue 4 group tries to set up a good position to basically hold them off. You've got this bridgehead still going in, but the Hunter-Killer teams are now trying to move south to engage with that group. Did these guys... I think they did. Yeah, I remember this BMP-1 got disabled, so now they're just a single infantry group moving in. And there is still plenty of armor to engage. We have a T-80. We have a BMP-1. Nope, my bad. That's a BMP-2, though it does have somebody unconscious in it. Don't know what hit it. And then a BMP-1 right here. I want to say maybe they exchanged fire with the Blue 4 BMP-1, but that thing's heavily pulled back now, and they're trying to establish a new defensive line. But these Hunter-Killer teams could find an angle and get the knockouts on these forces. Meanwhile, we got Blue 4 on the rear. I don't know. We got a big amount of Op 4 entering this area, though, and those vehicles aren't going to mean shit for dick if it's an urban CQC setting. That's just fancy words for RPG bait. Looks like a few Grenadier rounds or grenades went up and took out Vov there. His 2 battle buddies moving around trying to find a good position to potentially help him, or they don't even know he's down yet. But you have a lot of Blue 4 now trickling down this street to try to hold against this Op 4 advance. T-55 still holding the side to prevent any flanking attacks.
Send in GOAT Team 6.
Maybe he has an angle from over here, but...
28 months of GOAT and GOAT likes
tough.
a unicorn.
Blunt Traps, thank you for the 28-month resub, buddy. Hope you keep enjoying the operations, and I hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. I'm waiting to see these Hunter-Killer teams come up and finish off the rest of Op 4's vehicles to the north. I think they're pulling the infantry back. They're trying to get some of the AT guys up. Yep, Samby's already got his RPG out. He honestly should keep it on his back, though. He moves slower with the RPG out. They could get some defining shots on this BMP. Maybe the tank, maybe that other BMP. Because of the letters NIG and shenanigans, that bot is very finicky. We have a Blue 4 ATGM team driving around right here. Gonna laugh if it finds an angle and Op4 manages to RPG it. Oh, I agree with you, Shark, but what can I do? I think Op4 are just trying to stay stealthy on this objective and hold it for the rest of the game. You got Blue 4 firing down at some Op4 positions back here, so Blue 4 is now going to start reporting that Op4 is on their rear, and they might have a straight shot to the government building, so Twig's group might have some units to fight if they try to push into that objective. Heard the tank fire again. You see it looking around, trying to find something. BMP-1 here is also firing. They're trying to pick off some of the infantry in this tall building. Meanwhile, BMP-2 was just hit on the engine. Zamil, I don't know why a grenade just went off and hit these guys, but that happened. Another RPG went in. So the other BMP-2 is now fully disabled. Its crew is dead. I really don't know why these guys blew up. It looked like a grenade. I don't know if they were trying to throw a smoke and they accidentally fragged themselves. And the armor is dealing with the bulk of that infantry. Here's the thing, though. We still have all of these units out here. They could be retasked to, you know, deal with this now. But this, again, shows the weakness of having massive missions like these. I don't think Fonz is able to get into comms with some of these guys now because the nets are too hectic. Because there's the reactive fights going on. Two pretty large ones. Well, no, one large one in this entire sphere. You got reports of these guys moving into the government building. And then you have this skirmish starting to break out. Lieutenant Dan going solo here. I do like to see little plays like these. He could wipe an entire squad by himself, but we still have the BMPs to contend with here. Tank is now trying to find a new angle, driving all the way around, staying super defensive. I'm going to be honest, I think it would be better just going in this tree line and sniping any vehicles that came up, because now we got Op4 charging in. Full group of 4 now going to start making a little spearhead in here. They're going right for the residence. And we are getting close to that 70-minute mark. We've got another 16 minutes now, because it's the hour 20 mark. Even though it's 70 minutes, you got that 10 minutes of safe start that you got to add. So I think they're going to stay in here now, but these guys might try to charge in and get the VIP kill first. These guys are going to report that Op4 is now getting in here and dismounting. And no one's going to turn out and engage them? Okay, I guess they don't want to take the risk thinking there might be more guys over here. But that just shows the lack of communication that some of these elements have. So much Blue 4 infantry, even though Blue 4 is winning a majority of these fights, so much of their infantry and their assets are miscoordinated right now. So it's not resulting in extra kills and what they need. Dan wasn't able to get the kill. Gamer starts unloading with that PKM. Dan now trying to retreat. And an RPG goes right into that BMP-1, and multiple spatters of blood were just seen. There are some people down in here, though. That guy in the back left. Gamer runs on the rear there. Dan rushing. Another RPG goes in, goes over his head and over the BMP-1. Now he's desperately trying to avoid the BMP-1. There's a launcher back here. I'm not sure if Dan's going to notice. He spots some of these guys, gets a knockout. And Dan is pushing. Dan gets another kill. Dan the man. Then he gets run over by the vehicle. But he's still alive. And the vehicle runs him over again. But he's still awake. He's going to go for a third one. And then he still starts shooting. He gets a kill. And Lieutenant Dan gets his 3rd kill before the BMP guns him down and goes for another run over. This man was still able to come in and get 4 kills, and then the BMP one gets RPG. The second one missed, but engine down. Dan the man. Only one BMP one left up here, and it's shooting at something. OFCRA dismounting. You got 4 kills, bro. You got the 3 right there, and I guess he got another pickoff earlier on. And you're seeing that wave of disconnects as people die and leave the server. Meanwhile, OFCRA still have a good chunk of people. Oh, no, they've got 2 dead. They died in the hallway. The security team on Blue 4, they lost 1 guy as well, so 2-1 so far. That's not bad. Meanwhile, looking back at this northern fight, Blue 4 starting to push teams in. OFCRA haven't been able to make a lot of momentum, but look at the sheer amount of forces around this government building. And let's be honest, OFCRA, if they hold this final position and they kill the VIP, that's 5 points. That's a victory. Meanwhile, this group's starting to get encircled by Blue 4 elements pushing up on them. They haven't pushed in the compound just yet. I wonder if Comer heals. Here's them, and we might see a grenade throw. There's so many CQC fights going on right here. Look at Daniel here with 3 kills. Luna folds out, immediately gets gunned down. Wow, look at that. 3 people right here dead for OFCRA. This is that same building where they ambushed 3 Blue 4 earlier. So I guess a grenade went in and just wiped 3 of them off the bat. Another grenade, that's a smoke going in. A lot of fighting for that one building. BMP1 just fired up here. Not sure if that was a miss or they were going for that taller building. But yeah, OFCRA only have 2 BMP1s and a BRDM effective. Hey, look, you can finally use that Metis on a rear tank. Oh, it's shooting you. Damn, if only that one Metis rocket you didn't use on that... Wait, what's that? Oh, you didn't use it. Oh, okay. Well, I guess it was still useless. Anyway, me being salty about that. God, if only they had, like, a BMP-2 that could, like, turn around and hit the engine out of that B-55. Oh, well. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. I know. I just like to be salty about it. All right, so this tank now harassing the rear of all these troops. They're going to try to find a position to poke up that ATGM so that Wiki here can prove my words wrong. Then we have a Blue 4 infantry squad coming up to do a rear attack. I think this group is dead. But again, this doesn't matter and this doesn't matter. What matters is, can these guys get in and assassinate the target, which was, if I recall correctly, T, right? Yep, they gave him a micro Uzi. That's funny. It could also go 3-4, though. 2 points for Blue 4 with the bonus point of keeping the VIP in there. And then OFCRA gets 3 points for holding this zone at the end of the game and preventing the VIP from being in there. So OFCRA could still win this either way. The only critical success factor OFCRA needs to worry about is continuing to hold the government building. That place can hold a lot of OFCRA. Wiki still can't seem to find an angle to set up that ATGM on the tank. And you got this Blue 4 infantry squad that's going to get super close and start flanking. All right, meanwhile, looking over here. So we've got 2 members of BIA here. Bohemia was able to get both of the kills on the guys up there. Can they continue to push in and kill the VIP? Heard a shell go streaking over. Meanwhile, looking on this fight, Blue 4, they took significant losses. They're only down to 2 people now. Looks like they ran into some Blue 4. Maybe it was the only one, and then the rest pulled away, and now they're just kind of waiting back here. Yeah, so it was Kumar. He got no kills, though, so... Did BMP-1 come up and hit him? Trying to figure out what killed all these guys. Ah, Bazaar did. Wilhelm got a kill, so I think that was on Kumar. And then Tonto also got a kill. Okay. Now you've got this group coming up. they found the other tank and were able to destroy it. Now they're pushing up and harassing the infantry right here. There's one more BMP left, but all of OFCRA's armor has just been slaughtered here. You got this BMP one on the rear. It's firing at the... the MTLB was left behind right there, and that was taken out. BMP-1 trying to put itself as an angle to deal with the Hunter-Killer teams, but the Hunter-Killer teams are advancing, and hopefully they still have RPGs. Otherwise, there's going to be limited opportunity. Oh, maybe there's more ammo in there? No. I don't see any more warheads that this team has. They don't have any way to deal with that BMP-1. These guys, I think, are waiting for these additional forces to come up, but Blue Force started encircling them, and they're not going to get any help. So I think this is going to potentially be a 4 to OPFOR, 3 to Blue 4 game, unless Blue 4 can reconvene their forces and push in the government building. Now I think we're starting to see a few forces do that. This truck might have been ordered to mount up and head to the government building, but they're just going to get slaughtered because there's like at least 15 to 20 OPFOR in there. So Blue 4 might defeat themselves in detail by trying to reinforce that position and then just get ambushed every single time. Tank still wasn't engaged, and now infantry are pushing up and causing this position to fold back. With that tank still on Overwatch. Still have this spearhead right here. One BMP still covering. They're trying to push a few guys up to assist, but it's not a lot. Now we got some blue on blue. Aw, poor Nubass. Thankfully, their aim over there is shit, but they should be able to advance in. Nubass, go left! Use the smoke, you goober! Oh, now he's taking accurate fire from the enemy. Ah, they take a return RPG. So, miscoordination between these two groups, and that just goes to show the level of comm issues we have at the moment. Looking back at this force out here. Yeah, one of them pokes his head out and immediately gets it blown off. My man Nubass still alive. More infantry poking up. OPFOR still trying to get this position underway. They see some Blue 4 moving up, but they're giving away their own position. Thomas takes a lot of fire. Doesn't get knocked out, though. We got one guy, though, that's been picked off. Two people actually picked off from the flank here. These guys are in trouble. OPFOR, they're trying to turn some forces around to make a southern defensive head. Instead, realizing that they might have that northern group halted. Now we're seeing some casualties get inflicted. Smoke's going out. Blue 4 getting a few guys in as OPFOR sending some groups south to try to cover. Meanwhile, a machine gunner on the northern side. This is Gamer. I think he just got a knockout. Demovar trying to move up to assist. We got some shots going out in that direction. Don't know what for. Demovar, if he pushes, he would catch Gamer with his pants down on the opposite side, but Demovar might go point. He tries to fake out Gamer to shoot at him, but instead Demovar pulls his body back. Gamer's just going to camp the corner, as any Gamer would. Blue 4 now advancing on this position. Lolo goes over the berm and immediately gets taken out, but is able to get a kill. Another Blue 4 guy was with him. He gets taken out, but now we've got multiple knockouts right here. Parthi is flanking around here. OPFOR and Blue 4 contending. Masamo runs in. He's got that PPSH, 71 rounds. Just can't seem to get an angle on Nannard, and Nannard with his lag switch is able to avoid the shots by teleporting around. What a classic strategy we see in Arma 3. Gotta use that latency. Gamer immediately gets shot at from, I think, also his own players right there, too. That was a weird one. Now we got the BMP-1, I think, still firing up in that direction. Blue Force Southern attack. They've lost quite a few of their forces here, but they've caused OPFOR to all turn around and further traded with OPFOR. This BRDM, I think they're finally making a move, realizing they're not going to get any reinforcements. They got to push that position on their own. Can they do it, though? Because I'm going to be honest, if they are able to kill the VIP, that does increase the likelihood of OPFOR winning, but actually, no, it doesn't.
I have become ancient. Would be a shame if this caused a caster curse.
Bearded Lord, thanks for the 80-month resub. Hope you enjoying the operations, my friend. Hope you get a nice kick out of this scenario. OPFOR for the bulk of the points just needs to hold the government building at the end. If they can kill the VIP, then that just prevents Blue 4 from potentially tying the game. But at this point, it's a shame none of these guys have any ATGM launchers. You've got Exilia staying in the back. Bovian is going to open the doors. No OPFOR to come in and assist him. Maybe that BRDM, maybe Depso could come in and help. Just trying to check for any windows where you get some grenades in. Shooting out the windows right here would help, but these guys are all in this internal area, and look at that, T is just laying low. Bovian, can he do it? He starts taking flanking fire. Returning some pretty accurate fire of his own. Doesn't get hit, manages to dodge most of those shots. Then you got NASA over here just chilling. I think he's doing admin stuff, that's why. Very nasty keyhole up there. Bovian knows he's in a bit of trouble. Gonna check that barn, hearing some explosions down here. That's another vehicle cooking off. Blue 4 and OPFOR. OPFOR's numbers seem to get thinner and thinner as we have a double knockout right here due to some explosives. But then Bobby comes in and gets the kill. And then Blue 4 starting to advance more infantry here. They're going to clean up the rest of that group. Blue 4 trying to commit some reinforcements over here. And NASA gets immediately murked. He hears that vehicle. Misses the AT shot. Immediately guns the driver down. Throws a wild grenade. It gets caught on the rooftop. Can Bovian channel his inner... I don't want to caster curse him. I really want him to succeed. It's a shame about the AFK guy right here. He runs over. Pushes past that one Blue 4 guy. Manages to run into this barn. Doing a great job outflanking and outwitting his opponents. I don't think he's realized how quickly Blue 4's folded in on this position, though. Here we go, Bovian. Nope. And there doesn't commit. Uh-oh. I think, yeah, Gillette just fired through the window to knock out the one guy right there, but we had a Blue 4, two Blue 4 guys get knocked out here. Wait a minute. Gillette gets blown away. Holy shit. We got some wake-ups. There's the 70-minute mark completed by Blue 4. So Blue 4 now have 3 points on the board. 2 for controlling this area and 1 for having the VIP in this zone. Now the final potential 4 points, it's going to be 3 for control of this area and 1 for whether or not OPFOR can keep that one VIP out of the zone or Blue 4 can get him in. So OPFOR could still win this game. Bovian's going to get aggressive. It's Bovin. All right. Gets a knockout. He got... What the fuck? Holy shit. But then he gets headshotted by the VIP. No. Oh my god. If only Bovian had a grenade. That was incredible. He almost did it. Blue 4 now swarming this position with more infantry. Holy shit, dude. I'm gonna be honest, that was pretty incredible. Op 4 still have a significant chunk of infantry. Blue 4, I think they're gonna try to form up to now hit the government building. Have an AI right there with a handgun. Meanwhile, this southern group, the remaining infantry, there's only 2 left, and Fact of the House Logic can smell him. He's on 2 kills, and he's looking for more. No fucking way. No fucking way. Sneak 100. Holy shit. RPG comes out. Are you kidding me? Literally down to the second. Ninja, Fact of the House Logic here now on 4 kills. The timing of that was incredible. Utterly amazing. I can't believe we just caught that. All right, Blue 4, they have a few casualties. They're being slow to drag their feet to the government building. You've got the tank now overwatching. Sammy's on a 3rd armor kill. So that tank's been doing a great job, but Op 4 have total control of the government building at the moment. What we need to see is Blue 4 regroup their forces and launch a combined assault on this government position. If they can do that within the next 17 minutes, they should be able to beat out this Op 4 garrison. Whether or not they actually do that is anyone's guess, because, again, when you have so many people on a side, it can be very, very hard to coordinate. All right. I see a BMP, and I see an AT man. This is a man on a mission. And this is his unsuspecting target. The gunner's even turned out. What could go wrong? Hi, buddy. You are so close. You could practically taste it. That's the crazy thing about this, Steve. This is still... Op 4 could still win this one. Oh, they started moving. Pi, please. Pi, come on. You got it. You got it. Hit it. Nice hit. That was in the middle, though. The engine's on the front side, but I think... Okay, he didn't get any kills from that either. It looked like it went the crew compartment. That vehicle's going to immediately blitz it away. Rushed the shot a bit, but I'm happy he at least made the shot. Any hit on the rear is just going to hit the crew compartment, but you know what? I'll give him props for trying. Can he make a long-range AT hit, or can he potentially... Ah, the gunner turns in last second. Wait. He might have just nailed the guy in the back. No, he didn't. That hits the crew compartment. So the body is definitely damaged. If something breathes on it, it's going to blow up again, but he keeps trying to kill the gunner now. An excellent try, but this is why you have to know where the hard points in vehicles are, because sometimes those rockets are just not going to be effective, and that's life. If you have an empty APC back there, it's our empty armored personnel compartment back there, it's just spaced armor at that point. So we got a 3-man hunter-killer team. This was one of the teams responsible for getting some of those tank kills. And a few infantry kills to boot. Let's see if they can make it in. Hold on, I want to see the final results of this building. So we have 3 dead Op 4 out here. No dead Op 4 out on these sides. Got another dead Blue 4 right there. Another dead Blue 4. Another dead Blue 4. 4 more dead Blue 4. And then outside over here, another 4 dead Blue 4. Oh, this had so many different firefights alone. So many Blue 4 casualties. I'm just really worried about seeing armor pushing in here and immediately getting taken out. But Blue 4 looks like they're mounting up at least the northern group, and they're going to start pushing up to the objective. This southern group, though, they're still sweeping around. They need to hop in trucks and boot, scoot, and boogie at this point, because otherwise there's not going to be enough time for them to be effective into assist in this final part of the AO, and Op 4 can still snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Metalhead, thank you. Hope you keep enjoying everything, man. So again, for those of you that are just tuning in, Blue 4 is up 3 points. They're up 2 points from having this capture zone by the end of the 70-minute mark, and they had the 1 VIP in there, so that gave them a bonus point. Now, whoever controls the government area by the end of the game, which is in another 13 and a half minutes, actually, will get 3 points. But then there is a 4th bonus point if that VIP is in here or not in here. So if OFCRA keeps the VIP out of here, they basically win. Now, in the weird chance Blue 4 could still upset by having the VIP get in the very edge of the zone, so basically like behind this little small wall right here, but since he's technically in the zone, it would count. Blue 4 would get a bonus point. OFCRA would get the 3 points for having the number advantage in the zone, but that would make the final score be 4-3 with that 1 swing point. So if Blue 4 can just sneak them in somewhere, that's all they need to do. All right. Tank just took a rocket round and it hit the base of the tank, so we see more damage on here. Heard another RPG just fire. It looks like it was at the group of infantry here, and that resulted in a kill. And some knockouts, but it looks like they've woken back up. You know what I want to see Blue 4 use? We need to see these RSGH launchers use. These thermobaric rounds would do an amazing job at creating some pretty nasty AoE effects and killing infantry. Here's the thing, though. OFCRA, they've got infantry breaking through on the northwest. They could come and reinforce the government building. And since Blue 4 is so disjointed, they still have a big chunk of their infantry to the south and in other areas here. OFCRA could have this final fight with a number advantage at this rate. Where's T? T is the VIP. And he has a kill because of the attempt on his life. So he just needs to find a good angle to hold in this area. I'm going to be honest. If Blue 4 can push this garrison out, he could just camp on the outside right here, go prone, and that could be the game. Just hide in a bush in the corner. I think that's the only chance Blue 4 has for success here. I don't see them having the infantry to push out all these forces. But if OFCRA, I think OFCRA is trying to push these guys around to flank. Those guys, they got to be careful, though, because they don't have a lot of defenders in here, and they're about to fight a lot of OFCRA. Blue 4, meanwhile, staying in the streets here. And every time people seem to run on this MSR, they get taken out or knocked. More RPGs going around. Can't tell if there's some long-range shots maybe to get guys off those rooftops. But, yep, we're seeing some of those AT rounds getting fired in. And that's a freshly ragdolling body, so that might have been an RSGH launcher going in. And it is causing significant damage. Good. Good, good, good. You gotta use those noob tubes to get some kills here. That's the only way you're going to be able to push in. Wait, that's Red's side lead. Hold on. So Depso's in here. Another RSGH launcher goes in, but now these guys have turned around. We got grenades going. Oh, they're dead. These are explosive charges. That's going to take the building out. And they're dead. Wow. Great call by Lolo there, getting those 4 credited kills. Seasmo and Dr. Snuggles, that is 7 kills between that 3-man team, and that is that garrison down. I think Blue 4 now has a solid chance. Tank sounds like it's now trying to fire things from afar. This is that Stellinium tank. It's taken multiple RPGs, multiple tank rounds from a T-80, and it's now trying to push on this one-player Twig who fired an RPG into him. But that T-55, man, it has been unkillable. Now, this infantry group has managed to flank around, though. They've taken some casualties, but they're getting on the flanks and trying to knock out everybody. Blue 4 trying to bounce back. You have another 55 up here. I think it just gunned down a friendly, though. Yep. So a bit of miscoordination, and now Blue 4's initial forces are getting hit. Another RPG goes into this tank, and it just does not give a shit. Ah, yes, like the American honey badger. We'll call her all reliable. A majority of the OPFOR infantry have now gotten into the zone and are also helping with some of these flank attacks here. But, I mean, Blue 4 also seem to be content on shooting themselves too, so tough call. And then we got that big group of infantry pulling away. Sorry to pull us from the action there. More vehicles now coming in and out, as I think they're just trying to coordinate getting all their forces into this AO, because this is that final meat grinder. The one final effort, if you will. through the gunfire. They might not even be able to hear each other's footsteps, but they're vaulting the fence. Zambi gets headshotted, immediately takes more fire. Let's see if they find the body there. Yep. Great work by that one player, Camred. Oh, he's got an AS Val. I didn't see any AS Vals earlier. Nice. But he was basically able to keep them pinned so that flanking force could come in. He probably walked those infantry on where exactly to pull around because of the guys he saw. So great coordination at the squad level there. Yeah, Depso, they threw 2 explosive charges on you from the north and blew your building up. That was pretty interesting to watch. Oh, the tank finally goes down. Another RPG goes in, and it was finally one too many, and Gale Sky gets the kill on the tank that literally took at least a dozen rounds. Look at this truck driving in. Thankfully, it's empty, but yeah, massive little miscommunication there. If that was full of infantry, a few would be dead because it was just gunned down and filled with bullets. More RPGs going in. And an RPG man just struck it and killed it because Blue 4 is massively miscoordinated here. Depso, how was commanding this one? Because it looked like you were getting your butts kicked a bit early on, but Twig was able to spearhead one of the platoons to come in because there was no internal defense. Look at that RPG shot immediately hitting this guy in the ass. Ouch. That was a regular warhead, though, because if that was an RSGH, these all of those guys would be dead. Oh, my God. That's a lot of dead Blue 4. Settler is on 10 kills, and we just missed that. All of these Blue 4 were right here, and he just massacred them. And I just saw something blow up. A few OP4 pushing around. AS Val. Gets one. Walks right into the other. Didn't see his barrel in time. He gets taken out. Settler is the hero of OP4 right now. Yeah, no, I agree. And that just happens with big fights like these with over 100 players in the giant city to assault. Again, I was saying this in the beginning, you just have to throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. Thankfully, Blue 4 had no internal site security, and that's what allowed an entire platoon to just walk into the main objective. That is Blue 4's only mistake. They should have just had some of that core security from the get-go. Meanwhile, we've got some forces up here. Twig fighting for his life. He's up 3 kills, pulling away. He's got a skeletal AK. Some Blue 4 trying to run in, though. Is that VIP still alive? T is still alive. He's way in protective custody on the side. Blue 4, I think, still have the numbers to win this, but can they in time? The one Blue 4 infiltrator got found and knocked out and fired from adjacent windows. Settler, man, I can't believe with an RPK he caused that mass cas. That's amazing. Guy Fieri, I haven't seen him in an OFCRA mission in a long, long time. I don't think he plays PvP anymore for Arma 3. Because I haven't seen him anywhere. Honestly, most, if not all of Pepega Pirates, I don't see him anymore. More shots going out. Settler trying to extend his kill lead from 10. Has to do a quick reload. His building, though, being pushed by a guy. Doctor's moving up. He turns away at the wrong... I think Thompson just shot Settler in the back of the head, and then Doctor was able to clean them both up. Oh my God, talk about a whiff. From going 10 kills to getting friendly headshotted because you ran into his line. Jesus Christ. Blue 4 now starting to move a large amount of forces into this AO. We still have a few OP4 flankers on the side, but this could open the door for Blue 4 to get the VIP into a position in the AO. Where's T? T is in the zone. He just has to find a place to camp. I think this is GG. They can't get in this building. If OP4 kill him, it's game over. It's game over! Twig! just found a position! And he hit him with an RPG dead on! Twig! Holy shit! That's GG. The VIP is dead. OPFOR will gain a bonus point. Well, okay, let me walk it back real quick. OPFOR still need to hold here. And BLUFOR might still have the numbers to push them all out, but if there's too many on either side, that means that no one will get the points and BLUFOR will still win. So all OPFOR has to do is hold. And they've got 3 minutes to do it. I think right now they still have the number advantage, but if more people get in, that's going to change. But the one thing OPFOR needed to do was kill that VIP. Here's the thing that I'm worried about, though. He died in the zone, so it might say that he's still quote-unquote in the zone. If they still give that point to BLUFOR and that changes the game, I'm going to say as an administrative thing that doesn't... That's just a bug in the code. He's dead. OPFOR get that point. Okay, we're not relying on, oh, well, he could have just died in the zone and then, you know, his body's there, so it counts. No. I don't care if that's how it gets scored somehow. Because sometimes OFCRA does glitch out, and I have stepped up as an admin to say, hey, for the sake of the argument, he's dead. OPFOR had that 1 point. I think Twig just paid for that with his life, but that was exactly what he needed to do. What I am worried about, though, is the numbers of BLUFOR coming in. And the OPFOR numbers are dwindling. We've got 2 minutes remaining. Oh, Cuboid flanking around, getting this one flanker group. Manages to get the knockout on Sky there as well. More OPFOR getting taken out. BLUFOR might still have the numbers to take the government position back. We are at 4, 5, 6 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 with a 9 coming in. I think BLUFOR have the number advantage with 2 minutes remaining. I think OPFOR can't hold. BLUFOR have the number majority in here. And with every OPFOR kill, that widens the gap. Audreycep's about to be found. And he turns around at the worst. He reloads at the worst possible time. That's another dead OPFOR. OPFOR down to 4 in the zone. I think it's GG, guys. BLUFOR have a 2-to-1 advantage in the AO. Wow. BLUFOR ended up storming it last second. They've got the doors slightly open. Rap here has a really good keyhole. I think there was a guy on the rooftop that just got sniped. Oh, grenade just went off. Another guy breached in. Rap is the last survivor in this zone. He's got his one keyhole here. Demovar pushing. And they trade. And that is GG. BLUFOR just took the government position back. OPFOR, I think what cost it for them was they just didn't have the numbers. They lost too many guys on the southern, like the entire southern group got wiped. And that, I think, allowed for BLUFOR to take those southern numbers and just have enough to edge out a victory here, literally at the last minute. And that's game. Final score should be 6-1. Oh, so it's scored where if he dies, when he dies in the zone, no one gets the points. But, I mean, even then, 6-1, that's a BLUFOR victory. I think that was some great urban fighting towards the end. We saw some great multi-kills. We saw the results of great multi-kills. This was great. Anyway, guys, in a little under 3 hours, we'll be back for Zeusing OFCRA. Excuse me, POG, my bad. We just covered OFCRA. I have to go make Bloodwing a nice steak dinner. Otherwise, I will be introduced down the flight of stairs. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers, and have a good one. Let me see if there's someone fun to raid on Arma. I haven't raided anyone in a while. Let's make someone's day. Digby streaming across the fence. Nice. I'd join him on that, actually, but I owe Bloodwing dinner. for any small names I might recognize.